public hearing is for citizen comments, any input on Troy Housing LP applicant requesting voluntary annexation of parcel number 15802700000002800. From now on, I'll refer to that by the last 4 digits, or the last 5 digits. And the rezoning of the same property from R1 single family residential district to C1 central business district. So anyone here that would like to speak in regards to the rezoning or the annexation, we'll take a few minutes and allow for that. Just step up to the microphone, state your name and address, and make your comments. We're going to be required to wait 10 minutes or so. So unless anybody wants to speak, we'll just have to sit here until we give ample time. No, this is just a comment for the
over this too, because
public hearing.
It impacts everybody here because you guys are again doing the same thing. Okay, so I requested your oaths of office. All right, none of them are official. They may be signed by a notary. None of them are notarized. All right. First of all, none of them have state seals. I actually had to wait over 6 months to get these. Okay, I finally got them, and you made up some fake cover page. Whatever that is. I had to pay $5 for it. It's not, you're not able to do it publicly because it's not on the UCC. I should be able to walk up to the county record, get right on there and see it. Can't do that. It's not notarized. It hasn't been sent to the state. It hasn't been approved by the state. And if you want to see what those look like,
Public hearing, please.
This is a public hearing. It's your hearing.
Yes, in regards to rezoning or annexation, your comments have to be.
It is about that because you're letting NGOs, not-for-profit organizations, traffic people into our community that are not vetted. All right, we don't know who's coming in here. You don't know what these organizations are doing. You don't know what's behind them. Now here is what an oath of office looks like. This is Sheriff Harold's. All right, it's got, let's see, some state seals and stuff on it. Can we see all that? All right. This is Mr. Scott's. There's no notarization, no state seal, no UCC, no book, no page number, nothing. It's not signed off by the witness being either the chief of police, the guy who administered it, or the sheriff. There are 2 people who were able to make that guy the mayor. All right? They didn't sign on any of these documents. She did sign it. She is a notary. She didn't sign it as a notary. She didn't put her stamp on here, nothing. All right? And as far as state seals go, you guys are so worried about the backpack that I wear on my back every time I come up here. It's because in case you decide to have me arrested, I have all my proof and all my paperwork on me that I have more credentials than you do. See these nice, pretty state seals? I've been trying to meet with you guys for weeks. None of you guys want to do your paperwork. None of you guys want to, file the state statutes. None of you want to file the law. Your attorney here actively tells you to violate the law. Actively. It's insane. It's a circus. It's a joke. And all these people are here watching it. All right? You got people watching it that aren't even here. They're all witnesses to your crime. Everybody that's seen that video. And you're trafficking these people through your town, spending their money without their permission, without the state's permission. All right? And I've just given you guys all the proof to be arrested right now. It's treason to the full extent of the law. We don't want to do that. Nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to hurt anybody. But that's what's going to happen. You guys keep breaking the law. You keep violating the law, but you want to hold other people accountable to the law. What is that? Ignorance of the law is no excuse? Ignorance of the law is no excuse. I have all the information right here to arrest them. Do something. This is insane. These people don't have state authority to do shit.
All right. That's enough.
Marbury, Baptist, Madison rules your laws of decorum completely irrelevant.
Do you have any comment regarding the rezoning or the annexation?
Yes, you guys are endangering the public. What you are doing is you're inviting random people who have crossed the border. Okay, I agree that all these people need places to live, but they need to be vetted, they need to go through a process, and they need to be here on their own accord, not shuffled in by some charity group and forced to live somewhere, which is what's going to happen. Right across from my fucking house.
All right.
No, I don't care. I don't care what you have to say. Because you are not the mayor. You are not the mayor, you are not the city council. I just proved it right here.
We're going to have to ask you to leave if you don't control yourself.
I don't have to control myself.
Yes, you
It's
do.
freedom of speech. I can say whatever I want right
This
here.
is-
And you keep violating my rights. Do you actually know how much it is every time you violate my rights? How much you're getting the city charge? Do you know that? Do you know that? I have a fee schedule right here. Every time you violate my rights. Every time. It costs the city like $75,000. I can sue you right now and take you to court. It's right here. It's got a book, it's got a page number, it's notarized, it's legal, it's here. You can ask your attorney. He can look it up.
Okay, rezoning and annexation.
Rezoning and annexation. Rezoning and annexation.
Anything you have to say in regards to either
Business
one?
as usual. Corporation, corporation, corporation. Do you know that it's a duty of the people to regulate the corporations that we hold to do our business? And you're not doing the business in our favor. You're not doing the business in anybody's favor. You just perpetuate a problem. And you refuse to see it or read it because it's in your own laws. And you know what? I've given you plenty enough warning. So, and you not doing anything, I'm sorry, sir, it makes you complicit. It is what it is. You don't want to
Thank
know
you.
why I'm distraught about this? Because it holds you guys accountable to the full extent of the law. And that sucks.
Thank you.
It really does.
Anybody else want to speak to the subject at hand for this public hearing? Give it just a few more minutes then, just in case somebody comes in.
My name's Darrell Huffman, we live on 2nd Street. I'm against this annexation. These are the same people that tried to shove this Section 8 housing, low-income housing, down our throat just a few months ago. And just recently, we've okayed, or the city board has okayed, low-income housing on 3rd Street. We've got the apartment complex up on Boone Street, which is a complete disaster. The fire department was against that, but they couldn't stop it. And now we're going to annex more low-income housing, more Section 8 housing into the city of Troy, and we're going to still have the same problems that we were going to have with the previous one. There's no sidewalks out there. There's plenty of parking now since there's no building out in the middle of a field or whatever it is. But for the Troy, city of Troy, to annex this project into the city limits and just hand them over city amenities because we want low-income housing here. They don't need to be inside the city limits of Troy. Let the county worry about them. You know, the city's got enough problems without inviting more. We do not need more low-income housing in Troy. We've got plenty on the agenda. That's my opinion.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry I was late. Good evening, all you guys. So, first of all, this is not low-income housing. It is affordable housing, mixed income. 15% of it will be for those who can't afford market rate. It is something that's needed in Lincoln County and in Troy. We have been open for only 2 months at Bridge of Hope. We're averaging over 20 people in Bridge of Hope right now. They're all looking for homes. They've all been on the street. They've all been living in a car or in a truck or in a neighbor's bench or in a neighbor's couch or
in
a
the
friend
woods.
or in the city street. So this is a city problem. It's a county problem. It's all of our problem. We can't turn our backs. So the next step after getting them into Bridge of Hope and helping them find a job, helping them find the resources that are already there, and helping them get their life back in order, the next step is an affordable house. If we don't have something that's under $1,500, $1,300 a month, we just spent 2 months to try to get them on their feet, to turn them out for them to fail again. Hadn't really planned on talking about this tonight, but we have really seen what can happen when you put resources in place where people can find them. We had our first couple, we housed them in Hawk Point. They're very successful, they both have jobs, they've got their life in order. We have another couple that is moving into an older folks complex in Bowling Green next Thursday, so we're really excited about that. We had a young couple that got their stuff together with NECAC and moved into a place, I think it's Pin Oak Apartments, I'd have to check. All of this because they had a place to go to get themselves in order, get their life back together, get the resources together to make it successful. Part of this housing project will include help for finances, help people with budgeting, with planning, helping them learn how to use their money properly. This is a win-win for the city. The resources and the infrastructure is already in place. It's not going to cost the city anymore for sewer and water. It's already there because it's already been done for the school district. The way the new complex will be entered will be off of a side street, which will not affect the highway traffic on 47. And there's some changes that we can make to make that work if needed. But this project is needed in Troy. And thank you for your time.
For the record, do you want to state your name, Chris?
You gotta state your name.
I'm sorry, I should have had to do that first, but you got to start there. Just give her your name.
Chris Schieffer, Chairman of the Bridge of Hope Board of Directors.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else? Well, I think we have met our requirement to give anybody that wanted to speak some time, so we're going to close the public hearing and we will call the meeting to order. We have a quorum. Please join me with the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, next up, we'll take a motion to approve the consent agenda and adopt the agenda for tonight's meeting.
So moved.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Alderman Lyford, second by Alderman DeKemper. No discussion. I'll have the clerk call the roll, please.
Lyford,
Yes.
Norman,
Yes.
DeCamper,
Yes.
Leonard,
Yes.
Horner,
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries. Lost count there. Item 3, corrections and or approval of minutes of previous meetings.
Motion to approve.
Thank you.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Alderman Lyford and a second by Alderman DeKemper to approve the April 15th minutes. Any discussion?
Did they get corrected?
We had no corrections submitted.
Okay, did the vote and the vote on the bill number 1393 still reads the same one?
Yes.
But it wasn't corrected, and that was why we put those to be tabled.
The minutes correctly,
The minutes don't
Review.
because it says that it passed and it did not pass.
yes, it did pass. According to the minutes, it was voted on, it failed, it was amended, and then voted on again, at which time it passed.
But it was a dead bill, so a dead bill can't be voted on.
According to the procedure, it was not. Anyone who votes on the prevailing side of a law that fails may make a motion to amend said law, which is what happened by Alderman Jones. Items I and K in section 1 were amended by a vote of 6-0. That passed. And there was a motion to approve the bill by, I believe, Alderman Dooner, and a second by Alderman DeKemper, I think. And then that passed 4-3. So that accurately presents what took place. Any action other than that would have to be addressed with a new bill to take some action to reverse or change the ordinance that was already passed.
The bill was voted no, and then it was amended.
Yes.
But it can't be amended because it was voted no, which is
Yes.
what Brian said last time.
No, it can be amended.
So I looked up Robert Rules of Order. So I may have said that last time, but I looked up, that's why I have in front of me. And so it was a motion to amend, and then it was a motion to reconsider with the amendment. So when it's failed, somebody on the side that voted for it can vote to amend, and that's what happened.
It wasn't voted to amend until after the vote of no.
Correct. So if it fails,
It did
you
fail.
can yes, it failed, and then you can reconsider it with the amendments. Which is what happened. Which I think is what the mayor is trying to say.
Yes, any member who votes on the prevailing side of the failed bill may make a motion to amend. So everyone voted no, or voted yes. I'm sorry. Everyone voted no on approval, so any one of the board members could make a motion then to amend. They're eligible. Alderman Jones made the motion to amend. Those amendments were voted on and passed by the board. Then a motion was made to pass the amended bill, which again is exactly according to proper procedure.
Then why was the ordinance number, why do we have to go through and change ordinance numbers or bill numbers, other than why can't we amend them and vote on all the things in open session? Because we always come back with a different ordinance every time.
So I don't know that it's every time. In that particular case, it was tabled and there were changes made to the construct of the bill itself. Went through an hour-and-a-half workshop changing what was in the bill. So
Correct, and in
that was why it
previous-
was introduced as the next bill in line.
In previous bills, we always had to come back with a different number.
Yeah,
So then we can amend, going forward, we can amend and change bills in the meeting and vote on it and change our vote right there, correct?
You can,
We do
yeah.
not have to come back with a different ordinance number or bill number.
You can, yes.
According to the rules, any motion on the floor must be acted on its own. Once a motion is made to approve, that motion has to be acted on. Even if someone makes a motion to adopt, and it's friendly to the person that made the approval motion, they cannot go back and make changes once the motion to approve is on the floor. Once it's dealt with, again, anyone who votes on the prevailing side has the option of making amendments to that ordinance or that bill during that meeting. So the answer
Doesn't it
is,
have to be on the agenda for the amendment? Because the only thing on the agenda was the bill, not any amendments to the bill or to change the bill. And we followed the minutes, which was to vote on the bill, which we all voted no to, and then they were changed.
again, we followed the policy and procedure correctly. So the minutes accurately reflect what took place. It
So
did
then going
pass.
forward, if we vote no on a bill as it's presented,
Yes?
and it's not on the minutes to amend it and change it, we can amend it and change it in the same meeting and then vote on it again.
Yes.
Okay?
That's what we're saying.
I hear you.
As long as the person.
I just want that to be known, that that's what can happen, because we've always had to bring it back to the next month for that to happen.
Okay. I don't know of an example that I've been involved with where that's happened. But I've only been here a year.
Right.
Any other questions or comments on this item? Call the roll, please.
Lyford,
Yes.
Norman,
Yes.
DeCamper,
Yes.
Leonard,
No.
Warner,
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Thank you. That leads us to citizen comments. First up, I have Ashlyn Bergman.
Hi there, my name is Ashley Bergman. I am the Secretary and Registrar of Troy Youth Soccer Association. As you know, I have previously addressed concerns regarding field usage permits and fees, as well as abuse of power and discrimination by email back on April 1st of this year. At that time, I had requested financials from the city and learned that Rachel Dooner, who holds both an alderman seat and president of Troy Youth Baseball, and softball had just paid the fees for their spring 2023 season on the date of my request. I can only assume because I had made it known to her in private prior conversation that I was requesting such records. While TISA was aware that Troy Youth Baseball and Softball were considering having a fall season, TISA planned early and followed all city ordinances, including requesting the use of the fields 2 months in advance, and have been prepared to make payment for the 730 players TISA has registered for this fall. I am coming before you today as TISA had applied for the field use of both Fairgrounds Park and Crooked Creek Fields on May 17th to include soccer fields A, B, C, as well as baseball diamonds number 3 and 4 at Fairgrounds Park. Since then, there have been several attempts to follow up with Ryan to confirm field usage approval. The responses received have included awaiting paperwork from both football and baseball, and more recently, as of June 4th, TISA was told games on Sundays are good to go, and for now, weekday practices at Fairgrounds Park. Then on June 11th, TISA was told that baseball has all the ball fields until the end of July, regardless of if they held a fall season or not, and softball on Saturdays through August 17th, and TISA was asked to schedule around that. In that same communication from Ryan, he told TISA to, quote, keep the soccer fields at Fairgrounds Park and schedule however you'd like at Crooked Creek. Once baseball season wraps up, we will have more room to possibly fill in those spots if baseball is not using. Per City Ordinance 240.015, Section A10, quote, pavilions, picnic areas, and athletic fields may be reserved by applying for a permit to the city clerk in advance of the date for which the use of the specific area is sought. If the pavilions, picnic areas, and athletic fields are not reserved, they are available to the public on a first-come, first-served basis for their use. In addition, per City Ordinance Section 240.020I, the city makes no guarantees to any potential permittee or permittee of the availability of any pavilion, picnic area, or athletic field. What is concerning is that Troy baseball and softball didn't officially decide to hold a fall season until June 13th. If TISA is understanding correctly, this means that the baseball fields that TISA requested on May 17th have been essentially held for the use of a league that had not applied for or even had officially decided upon having a season to use the fields. Per City Ordinance Section 240.020A, persons issued a permit for the use of a specific area shall have preference to the use of the specific park area, reserved on the dates and during the times indicated on the permit. As it seems, TISA was the first applicant to request the fields for the dates July 8th through November 3rd. TISA's only ask is that we be granted the use of the fields as per the request on our application permit and per city ordinance. TISA is in no way asking that other leagues not be able to utilize ball diamonds, not on our request, and are also happy to share the use of our requested fields based upon the scheduling needs of TISA soccer teams who would utilize the soccer fields on ball diamond number 3 and 4. Quoting Rachel from the January Alderman meeting, she is looking for consistency and accountability, which is clearly not being displayed here for anyone who may request the use of city-owned fields. Again, this seems to be an abuse of power displayed by Rachel Jr. I also would like to remind you all that Rachel also stated, quote, what's good for the goose should be good for the gander. While TISA not only has paid the $5 fee per player for field use consistently for their last 2 seasons on time, but TISA has also paid the debt of an organization with which we should not have been held responsible for following the major theft of Troy Soccer Club, something that Troy Youth Baseball and Softball has not done consistently. I too can confirm that as of 10:45 this morning, Troy Youth Baseball and Softball has not yet paid the fees for their current spring season, per financial request provided by the city clerk. The last payment made to the city from Troy Youth Baseball and Softball was made on April 1st, as previously mentioned, for their spring 2023 season. And as recently as this morning, we were informed by Ryan that he would be seeing the baseball president this evening and should have a better idea what space they might be looking for. It is highly concerning that TISA has paid for field use for the fall as of today and are essentially being led to believe that baseball will get the choice of their field use before TISA. Of additional concern, TISA has also been told that the city does not have the budget or manpower to maintain the soccer fields at Crooked Creek, the fields that TISA has been granted the use of for fall as of this fall. Does this mean that other leagues are gaining through maintenance and improvements with fees TISA has paid on fields that TISA may now not be granted the use of? Shouldn't the funds paid by TISA to the city help with the upkeep and improvement needed of the fields we utilize to support the growth TISA has seen over the last 3 seasons, specifically the lack of parking and lights? TISA started in March of 2023 as an official chartered organization following the dissolve of Troy Soccer Club following financial debt due to theft. As TISA is entering its third season, we have seen continual growth to which we hope we will continue providing a wonderful soccer program for the youth in our community, just as we support the growth of our other leagues within our community. This is not possible without the cooperation between TISA and the City of Troy. If consistency and accountability is the goal here, this needs to be addressed immediately, and before said organizations are granted the use of fields, city ordinances should be followed and all debt and current fees need fulfilled. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Okay, next up I have Joey McCord.
Good evening, everybody. I'm just coming up here just for a minute to talk about an article I saw in the Lincoln County Journal about a $575,000 deficit. I've been at a couple of the budget meetings. I have all the paperwork at my house. And I'm trying to understand how we started the year with a surplus in the reserve. We're going to end 2020, we're going to come into 2025 and have like $18 million in the reserve. Now what I'm trying to understand is how you all took a vote to take care of the rollback, I guess that 15% personal property tax thing that was implemented a couple of years ago. Well, here's what I'm going to tell you, okay? We should have a say in that kind of stuff, not y'all. Okay, if you're going to increase my taxes, I'd like to have a say in it. Okay, not you all taking a vote going, yeah, we're going to go ahead and put that back. 15% is a lot of money to a lot of people. Okay, for me, it's like $500 or $600 extra dollars a year on my house alone. And there's businesses in town that are going to pay an even heavier price. And I read that whole article. When I got done reading the article, it said it was going to end up costing the city $423,000. Now, why would you implement a tax increase that's going to cost us $423,000? And the best the Journal ever came up with is a deficit over 5 years, because they went back and researched it. They said like 120,000 is the best they could come up with. So one, where is this 575,000 deficit coming from? Two, what happened to the revenues that we've collected from the marijuana sales from that store over there, wherever it's at in town? That's supposed to have been like $300,000, $350,000. Where did that go? Okay, I'm not understanding how you have 18 million in reserve and you have a deficit. I can do math, and that doesn't make any sense. Okay, start the budget at the zero, balance the stinking budget, and then don't come back for a tax increase when you can't balance the budget. And the revenues that were listed on all that stuff, all of a sudden we're short on revenue. Something isn't adding up. Okay, and all I want is to tell you, stay out of my pockets, because I don't need you taking any more money from me. I already pay enough to everybody else, so you don't need that 15%. Okay, y'all have a good evening.
Thank you. Next up, we have Walter Wright.
How y'all doing? Walter Wright, Penman Lane. Give you a little update. The pile that was out there, legal dump site, was cleaned up May 30th. They did an excellent job. Got it out of there. It smells a lot better out there and a lot less issues. Road update, I've been coming in here for about 4 years to get fixed. I guess Jared spoke up last week and they actually came out to do something on the road. I don't think they ripped the potholes out. They dumped rock in there. It's going to last a little bit. But my big concern is they knocked a hole in the detention basin of Rankin School. Now, correct me if I say something wrong, Dave. Feel free to speak up. But,
you're right.
But I mean, that you can't do that to somebody else's property. What's going to happen now, all this water that's running across the road, which never pooled really, it never stayed. I wasn't complaining that there was a big pond there or something. It's just the water runs across the road and creates potholes, and they don't ever get fixed. Well, now the city has knocked a hole in this detention basin. All the water coming across the road is going to run into the detention basin. It's going to drag dirt in there. And I know you guys probably don't know too much about a detention basin, but what it does is it catches the runoff water from where a building gets put in a parking lot, and it releases it slowly. A lot of these are like a big pond that fill up with water, and then they slowly release it and empty out. Rankin's is different. It's actually full of pea gravel, and it's a siphon system. So it's got pipes in there. As the water fills up, these pipes fill up, and then it actually sucks the water out of the hole. So if you guys leave your hole in the side of their detention basin, which you probably didn't have a right to put in there anyway, and it fills up with dirt, how much is it gonna cost to clean all that rock out, to clean the pipe out, so their detention basin will work correctly again? Just something I've seen, because here again, I'm trying to get this road fixed out here too. And we spent $4,750, the city did, to get the power removed that was out there, which could have been money that was going toward the road. Now we got this detention basin thing. If it fills up, how much is it gonna cost to fix that? Because I'm sure they're gonna come back at you guys, because a detention basin cannot take runoff water, except from the parking lot. It can't take it from the surrounding area. And I told the city guys that were out there that they can't do that. And of course, if I say you guys can't do something, it just gets done anyway. And they should easily check with Mr. Lindsay or somebody else in that department to see if that was illegal for them to do. So just giving you a heads up, I'll be back next month.
Okay, thank you. I have one more citizen comment. You've already spoken. Is Andrew Minson, do you want to speak again? If so, I would caution you to keep this civil, please.
How many times do you have to be yelled at and berated by random people before you understand what's going on? That also be. You guys are acting under the color of the law. You guys are dealing with these people's money. You have no right to be dealing with these people's money. You don't understand what you're doing. You don't understand the systems you operate. You don't have the city administrator. You don't have anybody that knows what's really going on. You guys refuse to follow the laws. So I guess whatever happens, happens, and I hope the U.S. Marshals are as nice to you as they are to me.
Okay, thank you. I believe that ends the citizen comments. Brings us to introduction of bills. Bill number 1396, an ordinance authorizing the execution of vehicle lease agreement for 1 year, 2023 Ford Transit van with equipment for the sewer department. Second reading, bill number 1396, an ordinance authorizing the execution of a vehicle lease agreement for 1 year for a 2023 Ford Transit van with equipment for the sewer department. Can I get a motion to approve, please?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Norman, a second by Dooner for approval. Any questions or comments?
We're only losing it for 1 year.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned about that. I'm going to pull it up. I don't know if that was a typo in the lease agreement.
Okay, so it says agreement for one, I'm sorry, it says 2023 Ford Transit van. I saw the one in parentheses and
Oh.
it does not say year on
One
it.
van, not 1 year.
Oh, it's only one van, I
That makes more
apologize.
sense.
Yeah, I read it twice that way. I saw the one, then the one in parentheses, and I added a year there.
Can
So-
you read it again, just for
I'm sorry.
clarity?
Read it a few more times.
All right. Bill number 1396, an ordinance authorizing the execution of a vehicle lease agreement for 2023 Ford Transit van with equipment for the sewer department. Second reading, bill number 1396, an ordinance authorizing the execution of a vehicle lease agreement for 2023 Ford Transit van with equipment for the sewer department.
Much better.
Thank you. Can I get a motion for approval?
So move. Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Alderman Lyford.
We already did the motion.
He has read it again.
You had to read it again.
I'm sorry, I read it wrong, so it
Then
kind
you
of
need to withdraw your motion?
nullified your motion on that.
Because you have both motions on the table now.
Yes. How about David Norman? Would you like to make a motion on this reading in this form?
Yes, I'll make a motion.
All right. And
Get a second?
Alderman
I'll
Dooner
second.
has a second on the floor, so
Second.
does that clean it up enough? So it's been read properly. We have a motion by Norman, a second by Dooner. Any questions? Call the roll, please.
Norman?
Yes.
Beekeeper?
Yes.
Leonard?
Yes.
Horner?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Lightfoot?
Yes. Motion carries. Thank you. That brings us to item G. Discuss and approve Troy Housing LP applicant requesting the voluntary annexation of a parcel known by the last 5 digits of 28,000. This address is contiguous with the existing city limits and will be zoned R1. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Thank you. I have a motion by Alderman Lyford. Do I get a second one? Thank you. Alderman Norman has seconded the motion. Any discussion or comments?
Yes, I'd like to know, was it approved by the planning and zoning?
No.
Then I would like to.
Well,
So
if you read the packet, we did not have a quorum at the
Correct.
planning and zoning, so
So
nothing was
we-
approved or disapproved.
Correct, so if we, as a board here, did not have a quorum, we could not run this meeting.
Correct.
I feel that it needs to go back to planning and zoning with a quorum to, because you have a lot more information than we do. You have your set of the rules and regulations and stuff, so I think it
All the
needs to go back.
information P&Z gets is in your packet.
Right, but I still think it needs to go back to planning and zoning.
Agreed.
So by rule, I think it has to come here. I mean, they
P&Z
fulfilled their,
recommendation only. You all have the final say.
yeah, they can't pass it or fail it. You all have that responsibility. So it has to be, you have to make a decision on it. They have met all their requirements by submitting the paperwork to P&Z. The fact that they didn't have a quorum they shouldn't be held responsible for that. They went through the public hearing at P&Z, and they've had another one tonight, so.
I got a question. So taxing people out of.
We have a motion on the floor.
Build a parking complex and put them in. Does that sound fair?
Sir, you need to be respectful of the meeting, or you'll have to leave.
Respect-
Okay, we have a motion and a second on the floor for approval of the annexation. Any other questions or comments?
I agree with Alderman Jones
Yes.
that there's a board in place for that and that it should go before them first and then come to us.
This has happened in the past. We've always made decisions. You know, when P&Z didn't have a quorum or weren't making a recommendation, the board is always, we're required to make this decision by law, so. I understand your thoughts, but
Pretty sure it
that's
could be
why it's
tabled to
here.
go back to them.
We have a motion to approve on the floor with a second. Okay. Call the roll, please.
Lightfoot?
Yes.
Norman?
Yes.
Beekeeper?
No.
Leonard?
No.
Horner?
Yes.
Jones?
No.
Motion is a tie. You want to call my name or you just want me to vote?
No. Sconce?
I vote yes.
Of course.
Motion carries. Item H, discuss and approve Troy Housing LP applicant requesting rezoning of parcel number, same number, from R1 Single Family Residential District to C1 Central Business District. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second. I'm sorry, was that you, David?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We have a motion by Alderman Lyford, a second by Alderman Norman to approve this item H. Any discussion?
Changing that to C, would you say, I'm sorry, C1?
C1 Central Business.
What's that entail?
If you go back to your list, it gives a printout of the C1 permitted and conditional use in my report.
That's storefront, correct?
I'm sorry?
It changes, becomes storefront property?
Yeah, Central 1, you can do store, retail, business. single, duplex, multi apartments. Yes.
I thought I read that here.
General retail, personal service, repair business, automobile sales, eating, drinking establishments, automobile sales, self-service laundries, dry cleaning, theater, businesses, medical. You want me to go on there like we?
No, that's good, thank you.
Any other questions or comments on this item? Clerk, call the roll, please.
Lightford,
Yes.
Norman,
Yes.
DeCamper,
No.
Leonard,
No.
Horner,
Yes.
Jones,
No.
Sconce.
Yes. Motion carries. Item I, discuss and approve Troy Housing LP applicant requesting the approval of a site plan review and building permits for Troy Housing to be located on parcel, same parcel number. This property is located southwest of the Highway 47 and Highway J intersection. Can I get a motion on that item?
So move.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by Alderman Lyford, second by Alderman Norman. Any other comments, questions?
I got a question on the site plan.
Yes.
Is there the entrance, is that the only entrance to the complex is on Highway J?
The south side, yes.
Just the south side?
How's that going to accommodate school traffic?
The south side, like where the school comes out on that road?
Yes.
So what's that gonna do to all the school traffic? What's the plan there? Since there's no shoulder, there's no, I don't know if anybody's ever picked up a Boone and
That wasn't
Lincoln.
discussed during P and Z because
That's why we wanted to send it back,
That's why we wanted to send it back to you.
because we don't have those answers. And
I'm not a
that's-
traffic engineer, but I can't help but see it wouldn't add to it.
Right. And anybody who's been to Boone or Lincoln, it's a nightmare as it is because there's only one way in and one way out.
You put multiple school buses coming through there. Morning and night.
Well, there is access up onto J from that site, correct?
Yeah, actually, there's 3 entrances.
Yeah.
Any other questions, comments? Yeah, there's 2 access points off of J and then one on, well,
There's 3.
one on the south side and 2 on the,
Yeah,
on the
the
east side.
third one, the grass growed up, it's
I
hard to
see.
see it.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I have a motion by Alderman Lyford, second by Alderman Norman. Any other comments? Call the roll, please.
Lightford,
Yes.
Norman,
Yes.
DeCamper,
No.
Leonard,
No.
Horner,
Yes.
Jones,
No.
Sconce.
Yes. Motion carries. Thank you. Item J, discuss and approve Paul Boyer, project engineer, on behalf of Lincoln County Emergency Services owner, requesting the approval of the site plan review and commercial building permit for Lincoln County 911 EOC Center to be located at 466 South Lincoln Drive. This property is zone C1 Central Business District. Chair will entertain a motion for approval.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Which one?
Go ahead.
Okay, I got a motion by Alderman Jones, second by Alderman DeKemper. Any questions or comments on this one? Call the roll whenever you're ready.
Jones,
Yes.
Lightford,
Yes.
Norman,
Yes.
DeCamper,
Yes.
Leonard,
Yes.
Horner,
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. Item K, discuss and approve John Standing, project engineer, on behalf of George Tucker, applicant, requesting of approval of a site plan review and residential building permit for Boone Wood Townhomes to be located at 351 Boone Street. This property is zoned R3 multifamily residential district. I'll entertain entertain a motion.
Make a motion?
I'll second.
Okay, I got a motion to approve by Alderman Jones, a second by Alderman Norman. Any comments on this one? Call the roll whenever you're ready.
Jones?
Yes.
Lightford?
Yes.
Norman?
Yes.
DeCamper?
Yes.
Dunner?
Yes.
Horner?
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. Item L, discuss and approve Mike Bailman Architect on behalf of Troy Development Company Incorporated, owner, requesting approval of commercial building permit for the reconstruction of the clubhouse at Wood Sport Golf Course located at number 1 Country Club Drive. Can I get a motion?
So move.
I'll second.
Got a motion by Alderman Lyford, second by Alderman Norman. Any comments on this one? Call the roll, please.
Lightford?
Yes.
Norman?
Yes.
DeCamper?
Yes.
Dunner?
Yes.
Horner?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. Item M, set date for fiscal year 2025 budget approval meeting. Treasurer Flynn.
I have my calendar in front of me. Obviously, I would like to have as much time as I possibly could, so I'm looking at Thursday, the 27th.
Thursday, the 27th.
At 6:30.
Anybody not be able to make that?
It should be a fairly quick meeting unless we have some other stuff on it.
Everybody good with that?
27, 6:30?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thursday.
I'm good.
Okay,
I
thank you.
think that'll work. Okay, item N, discuss and approve the budget of $75,000 for the repair of Cherry Street and Front Street intersection. I'll take a motion to approve, and we can discuss.
We don't have any engineering, correct?
Nothing, no.
Well, the street budget has sufficient funds, correct?
It does, yes.
Excuse me, can I ask a question?
We need to get a motion.
Shouldn't the architect that designed that mess down there be responsible for this $75,000?
We've already dealt with that. We have a motion.
Well, that's what I'm asking you. Are they responsible for it? Are they going to pay for it?
Can I get a motion to approve this item? So we can answer it. Okay, I got a motion by Alderman Norman,
I'll second.
second by Horner. So the project was concluded. The board voted on how to proceed with that. It was decided not to take action against the parties involved. We got a guesstimate by the contractor for repair at the time. We've added a little money to that. We'd like to address the issue. So I'd like to get in this year's budget. That's the gist of it. The board's already had a chance to make a decision about whether or not to hold someone else accountable. So we either have to leave it alone or address it. It needs to be addressed. So it's up to the board to decide whether they're going to move forward with budgeting it for this year. Anybody want to make a comment or have a question on that item?
When it was talked about, the board was not unanimous in the way that we went either. So that's why it's here.
That's true.
Because it's still coming out of the taxpayers. They've already eaten $33,000 in an error. This is another $75,000 that you want them to eat.
It should have been fixed from the beginning before we signed off on it. I know I voted no on it, so.
Well,
So do we want to leave the mess the way it is? No.
yeah, this is just a question of whether or not we should move forward with fixing it now. So that's,
The way it was presented, though, is that we all agreed. I just wanted to be known that we did not all agree to
no,
that.
I just said that the board had a chance to make a decision. I didn't feel it was necessary to point out who was in favor and who was not. It was a board decision, so that's why we're here. I was trying to give some background on why we ended up at this point.
It needs to be fixed. I go through with my mower on my trailer and fill a gas can every time.
Yes.
I will not disagree with
Coming
that.
out my road.
That is for sure.
I was down your road the other day, and we bolted and retention.
Okay.
I have
Anybody
to
else?
agree that it needs to be fixed,
Anybody else get a
but somebody
comment on
should be
this?
held responsible for it.
We'll ask clerk to call the roll, please.
Norman?
No.
DeCamper?
No.
Leonard?
No.
Warner?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Lightford?
Yes.
Scoggins?
Yes. Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, I'll take a motion to go into executive session for legal.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Norman, second by DeKemper. Call the roll. I would ask if the board has no objections, I'd like to invite the city clerk in as well.
Yes.
No problem.
Norman?
Yes.
DeCamper?
Yes.
Leonard?
Yes.
Warner?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Lightford?
Yes. Motion carries. Thank you.